involved in these victories. Now the north, the 11 tribes that haven't followed David to this point, need a win from David. You know, they have thrown their lot in now with David. Instead of following after the family of Saul, they need David to show that he can beat the Philistines. That's, after all, this is what a king is for. And God provides those victories. Tells them how to fight the battle, tells them where to attack, tells them when to attack, does everything for them. God is on their side, giving them this victory and showing the 11 northern tribes that David indeed is the king. And the Philistines abandoned their idols. Earlier in 1 Samuel, we heard when we had a battle with the Philistines against the Israelites abandoned the ark. And the Philistines captured it. Well, God didn't need any help getting back to Israel. He just caused them all kinds of plagues and said, yeah, we'll deal with that. And I don't need your help getting back. But when they captured the Philistine gods, it was basically saying, our God wins. Our God wins. And God is saying, the Israelites were thinking that now we know that our God is in charge. Then he goes on to make some religious reforms. Come on. Mom's dad. Oh, you're going to come this way. Oh, never mind. There you go. He goes on to make some religious reforms, and this is a painting of David bringing the ark into Jerusalem. And in chapter 6, we read these intriguing stories about how he had loaded the ark onto a cart to bring it into town. Uzzah reaches out to it when it hits a pothole, and, you know, it's not a good situation. It's not a good situation. Now, you need to know that the ark has an official name. It's the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim. Now, that's too long to put in movie titles. You can't say the Raiders of the Lost Ark of the Covenant of the Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim, but you would like to. This is the official name, God's place of residence. This is where he has chosen to sit and judge the world. It can't contain him, but this is where God has said, I will meet my people. The process of bringing the ark into the city, though, is disastrous. They have not listened to what they should have known. They put it on a cart drawn by a couple of oxen. They've got it all nicely prepared. This is what all the surrounding nations do. This is how all the surrounding people carry their gods. So they put it on the back of a cart. They send it on down the road. Everybody's happy. Everybody's joyous. David's on top of the world. He's done everything that he's ever wanted. He's gotten everything from God that God has ever promised. And now, disaster strikes because the oxen stumble. And then they have to reach out to steady the ark from keeping it from hitting the ground. And Uzzah dies because he did not regard the ark as sufficiently holy. Now, in Chronicles, it says it was because you, the Levites, did not bring it up the first time that the Lord our God broke out in anger against us. I don't know if the Levites had forgotten what they were supposed to do in carrying the ark. Maybe they thought, oh, new day, new time, new laws. Let's do it this way. But God has said, this is the way you handle the ark. This is the way you approach me. And this is what I want you to do. And so maybe it wasn't David's fault. Maybe David was in too much of a rush, or maybe the Levites had forgotten what they were supposed to do. But then they figured it out. They did not take God's power and his holiness seriously enough. And whenever in our lives we forget about who God is and what we are dealing with, God has a tendency to remind us. Now, they bring the ark into Jerusalem. They have a big party. Everybody is amazingly happy. I mean, we're talking about Super Bowl, World Series, Stanley Cup, Husker game, national championship, all rolled into one big party. I don't know if you've ever driven from Lincoln to Omaha after a Husker win. But, you know, people are sticking their heads out the windows, they're screaming, they're hollering, they're doing all kinds of stuff. This is that kind of party. But Michael David's wife, does not join in with this. She's not real happy with this. David gets way too exuberant for her tastes. He is wearing nothing but a simple tunic, and he is dancing as hard and as furiously as he can. He is so caught up in serving the Lord, he is willing to do anything, almost anything at this point, because he is serving the Lord. Well, Michal looks at him and despises him in her heart. Now, it's interesting that it does not say that Michal was David's wife. It says that Michal was the daughter of Saul. And I think that's the point of this story, that Michal was the daughter of Saul. We have seen the contrast between David and Saul continuing. We have seen that Saul's family is cursed, and we've seen member after member of Saul's family is died off. Some natural causes, some very unnatural causes. And now we're told at the very end, not because of what David says, that she is going to be childless. This is what happens to women who criticize their husbands dancing. Did you hear that, Beth?
Not always. I got proof.
You got proof? What?
I got proof that God doesn't always strike childless.
Oh, well, I guess. I guess there's some dancing he approves of and some dancing he doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, she is childless because she has not understood what the Lord requires. But I think it has more to do with the fact that she is the same kind of person that Saul was. And in Saul's line, she is cursed not because, she's cursed because she chooses sin, but she chooses sin because she follows in after her father's footsteps. She has followed a bad example in this case. And so we see another of Saul's offspring going into oblivion without having any following after. Today we finally see in these chapters, all of the promises given to David are being fulfilled. It is a great day in their history, a watershed day in their history. It's the door at the end of a very long hallway. God's promises are finally there, shining through, and they can see the light of what God has given to them. I was thinking about this in regards to our graduates. They have been in a very long hallway, 12 years long, 13 years long if you can count kindergarten, 14 if you count